DreAllDay.com.
Processed foods. I was reading an article actually on the blog of an author named Tim Ferriss. I know most of you probably are familiar with Tim Ferriss. He wrote books that start with 4 Hour. 4 Hour Work Week, 4 Hour Body, 4 Hour Chef. Very good books. If you have not read them, read all three. They're excellent. Even if you're not, I'm not trying to be a cook, but I read 4 Hour Chef and I loved it. 4 Hour Body, and I'm a pro athlete. He ain't nothing, wasn't really nothing I'm going to get from him athletically, but I love that book too. And 4 Hour Work Week. Who don't want to work only 4 hours a week? It's not exactly about that, but it's about making your lifestyle way that work is not all that you do all day, every day. You can cut down on how much work you're doing by being more efficient and having more time for yourself while still earning the money. So read the books. Tim Ferriss, that's 2 R's, 2 S's. But anyway, on his blog, he had a guest post by this guy named Rob Wolf. It's Rob with 2 B's. And Rob has his own website. He actually wrote a book about the paleo diet. It's like a best-selling book. So he's like one of the leading experts on the paleo diet. And one thing that he says, a basic rule of thumb, he says, if food comes in a package, it needs a label, and it can live on a shelf for an extended period of time, you don't eat it on a paleo diet. So you think about all the foods that fall into that category. People talk about, I don't know how much you personally, whoever's watching this, knows about this, but when you go into a supermarket, the food that doesn't need a package is all on the outside perimeter of the store. Anything that you got to go through the aisles to get, it has a label, it's packaged, it's processed. So the meats, where the meats at when you go into a grocery store? They somewhere on that outside square. Where are the vegetables? Somewhere on that outside square. Where are the fruits? Same thing. So only stuff that you need in a grocery store as far as what you actually going to put in your mouth and eat is on the outsides. Meats, fruits, vegetables. If you're going through the aisles, you buying processed foods, something's wrong if you're on the paleo diet, if you're following the paleo lifestyle. So when I say the paleo diet, I'm talking about the lifestyle of eating paleo. I'm not necessarily saying being on a diet, as I explained a few minutes ago. Now, one thing that I thought that a lot of people might be thinking, if you're out there, if you're considering going to a gluten-free or paleo or clean eating or organic diet, is the cost. Because this food costs more. If you go into a grocery store and you see the regular bananas is 69 cents a pound, the organic bananas is 99 cents a pound, that's not really a big difference just for the bananas, but that shit adds up over time. If you got to buy the higher quality stuff, it costs more money. And a lot of times, for all of us out there, the type of food you eat is not only a personal, physical well-being decision, but it's also a business decision, because you got to decide, hey, do I want to spend or can I afford to spend all this extra money on this type of food, which you're probably going to end up, if you got the same budget every week for food, where on one type of budget you can get this much food, but now you got to go organic or clean eating or whatever diet you want to get into, you end up with half as much food. How you going to eat, how you going to live, and you talking about you supporting the family, kids, etc., and you want a certain budget, a fixed income, how can you do this? So let me address that. One thing that did happen when I started going, when I went to the vegetarian diet, it was pretty much the same cost. It didn't cost no more or less. I stopped buying meat and instead I was buying more grains. So it wasn't costing me no more or less money. Paleo diet is actually costing me less money, actually, because there's only 3 things you buying. So what actually happens is all those snack foods and stuff that I used to eat, pretzels, all types of candies, potato chips, popcorn. Corn is a grain. Corn does not fit into the vegetable category. Well, I think it is a vegetable, but it's also a grain. So there's no corn in the paleo diet. So no popcorn, no corn. So all those snacks and stuff that I used to eat, now I'm just not buying them. So I'm saving my money on that. And is there times where I'm like fiending for something to eat, like some kind of snack or something, and I look and all I see is, oranges, strawberries, grapes, bananas, raisins. That's all I got to choose from, and I don't even want that shit. But hey, if you want to change your lifestyle, I would say probably like 3 days to a week of not having that stuff, and you fight through the urges, you fight through those desires to have that stuff, your body will stop wanting it. That's basically how it works, and that's any habit you develop. You force yourself through that hard period, which is probably like the first 2, 3, 4 days. Once you get through that, you'll be straight. This is like with anything. Like you take somebody who's addicted to crack, you put them in rehab and they can't have none. By that second day, they going fucking crazy, right? I mean, I ain't even gonna say right because I ain't never been on crack. I don't know nobody who was. But that second day, from what we've seen depicted on TV and in the movies, they start going crazy because they can't have the thing they're addicted to. But by that 7th or 8th day, they kind of start to calm down because their body stops screaming for it. Their body realizes that they're not going to get it, and they kind of calm down a little bit. So it's the same thing when you used to eating the processed foods, the candies, the ice creams, and all the other shit. Another thing that's out when you in the paleo diet is oatmeal. No more oatmeal. I used to eat oatmeal for breakfast all the time. Of course, oatmeal snacks, any kind of oatmeal snacks like protein bars. Now when I look at protein bars, I look at their labels, and almost every single one of them has an ingredient in it that I cannot eat. Any type of rice, any type of wheat, any type of flour, any type of added sugar, any type of peanuts, can't eat it. So I thought there was going to be some protein bars I could eat. I could just buy, like, you know, the boxes. I buy protein bars by the case, or at least I used to. I could just buy the boxes of that, and I said, all right, I'll be straight with just that. But I couldn't do that because of the ingredients in it. Now let's address meats. The reason I went vegetarian because I said eating meats was making my body feel a certain way that I didn't like. I didn't like the way I felt the next day or later that day. I think it was hindering my performance. And as I said before, it could have just been the types of meat. Might not have even been the meat, but just the types of meat that I was eating. So now I want to be more, more thoughtful about the type of meat that I'm eating. So of course y'all know there's organic meat or grass-fed meat or free-range meat. And basically what that means is if you eating steak, grass-fed steak, that means you eating a cow that was living on a farm and it had free range steak, free range to move around. Like if you ever driving in the country or the scenic route outside the city and you see the big farms with the cows just walking around grazing, eating grass, they're being raised healthy. You know, that's the normal way a cow lives. Then when you eat that cow, you know, live the normal life or live the good life. You're not putting any antibiotics or bad stuff into your body. You're not putting fear and death. Well, it is death. It is a dead animal, but it's not fear. The animal didn't die in fear because it wasn't in a slaughterhouse. It wasn't raised in a square where it could barely even turn around or learn to walk. Like a lot of the food we do eat, that's how that food is raised. For example, if you eat a burger from McDonald's, that's where that meat came from. The part of it that is meat, you know, that burger is not 100% meat. That's a whole other conversation. Y'all should know that by now. I mean, it's 2013. So like I said, peanuts and peanut butter out of the paleo diet was a big hit for me. Potatoes, which are a vegetable, but according to the paleo experts, potatoes are very starchy and they do not fall under the paleo diet. So there's no potatoes in the paleo diet. There are sweet potatoes, but it's like with an asterisk, use sparingly. And I don't even like sweet potatoes like that. I love potatoes by themselves because potatoes, I can eat potato chips. It's just potatoes with salt. If you find the basic chips, because I was eating a bunch of those before I read up more on the paleo diet, and it was like, nah, no potatoes. So I'm like, damn, there go my potato chips, my one vice of snack. I can't eat that no more because the potato. Personally, why would I want to do this diet? The overall goal of going on these lifestyle changes, the one I did back then and what I'm doing now, is to perform at a higher level, see what I can do with my body to do better. It's just doing the workouts. I mean, I work out a hell of a lot every day, but just the workouts alone at age 31, I can't be doing the exact same as I was doing at age 25 or 26 because the body slows down, the metabolism slows down, you physically can't do things the way that you did them back then. Your body goes through changes. Father Time ain't losing. If you're a professional athlete, especially in a sport, an explosive sport like basketball, football being my two best examples, track or something like that, where there's a lot of fast twitch muscle involvement. As time goes on, eventually you're going to slow down. That's why players retire before they age 40. That's not even halfway through life. So I had to do something different to help my continuation as an athlete other than just the workouts. I mean, I could add more workouts, but I wanted to do something else to see what I can do. So the diet, the change in lifestyle, the way that I eat is one of those things that I'm going to do. So I want to see how I feel differently. Like I said, with the vegetarian switch, I didn't really feel that different. So I want to see how different I feel under the paleo lifestyle. I don't like eating eggs. I've never liked eggs. I don't eat eggs. I'm not talking about the egg when it's in its round form, the white egg with the crispy, the hard shell. I'm talking about eggs like scrambled eggs or eggs when they're actually prepared, cooked. I don't like scrambled eggs. I didn't like eggs Benedict. I didn't like omelets. But I was at a breakfast buffet and I had my my meats and fruits on the plate I'm eating, and I look over and I see, when you're at a buffet, they got the guy standing there behind the girdle. At the girdle, he makes omelets with people. People tell him what kind of omelet they want. He makes it. They take it or they bring it to your table. That's part of the buffet. So I was at the buffet and I seen some lady getting the omelet, and I said, let me try this omelet with a bunch of meat and vegetables in it. Just see how it tastes. Maybe I like it. Because I'm looking at my plate of food. I'm like, damn, because I looked at the buffet. I walked through the buffet and I looked at everything there, and I'm like, damn, I can't eat that. Damn, no pancakes. Damn, no French toast. Damn, no cereal. Damn, no oatmeal. Damn, none of this sweet, like caramel, something they had. Some kind of sweet stuff they had. Damn, I can't have none of these pastries. No cupcakes, no bagels, no danishes. I can't have none of this stuff. And I'm like, damn, is this all I'm going to be able to eat every time I eat breakfast? So I seen this guy making an omelet, and I actually had the paleo, like a full list of paleo foods allowed and not allowed. I referenced it while I'm sitting there in the restaurant in my iPhone, and it said, eggs are good. Eggs are a good thing to eat on the paleo diet. So I said, let me at least try it. I'm at a buffet, so it ain't costing me nothing. Let me try it, see how it tastes. So I got an omelet with like all these meats in it. I think it was sausage, chicken, might have been steak in there, and I told him to put all the vegetables in there. It was like tomatoes, onions, mushrooms, spinach, and I said no cheese. So I had the omelet, and I actually liked it because it wasn't just all eggs I was eating, because I don't really like the consistency of eggs when I'm eating them. It just makes me queasy. But having the meats in it, and I kind of was able to overlook quote unquote the eggs. So I think omelets will be in my future. I'm gonna have to learn how to make them because I'm gonna need to make them myself when I eat. So that's one thing that I did add to my diet now is omelets. Now that I had a chance to have them with a bunch of meat and vegetables. Now me personally, when I'm eating, what is my eating style? Well, the most important meal for me every day is breakfast. Now usually what I was doing is I would wake up, my routine physically, usually the first thing I do when I wake up is workout, whether that be lifting weights, basketball, running. Some form of running, yoga, stretching, some type of physical activity is the first thing I do when I wake up in the morning, whatever time that may be. And I would usually have either a protein shake, which I'm going to get to in a minute, or I would have oatmeal. I would have that as something light, something that would settle quickly and not be bouncing around in my stomach while I'm working out. Then I work out. Then after the workout, that's when I would have my real breakfast, where I would have more food, a bigger plate of food, because you want to build up your energy for the rest of the day by having all those carbs or whatever you putting in your body, all that energy in you, all that food to burn off over the course of the day. So you eat a big meal then. So if you eat a big meal at dinner, the next thing you're probably doing is going to sleep. So that food's just sitting there, and that can turn into fat. Don't quote me on that. There is scientific stuff about this that you can read up on yourself. But I like to eat the most food at breakfast because that gives me the energy to burn throughout the day. So one challenge for me now is figuring out what my breakfast routine is going to be. I know I can eat fruits, but I'm going to need something more than just fruit. I think I'm going to have to add some meat into my breakfast routine because I need something more than just fruit to work out. I remember I was going to work out, a basketball workout, and I tried eating a banana and drinking some water, and that wasn't enough. I was like, hell no, I need more than just this. This ain't enough. And protein shakes. Protein shakes, usually I use whey protein, and whey is basically milk. It's a dairy product. No whey protein in the paleo diet. And I was reading up on protein powders in the paleo diet. There is a link covering that in the page that I referenced on my website, dreallday.com. And basically this person is saying you don't need protein powder when you're on the paleo diet. You need protein. You don't have to have a powder. You don't need just shaker cup. You ain't got to carry it around with you to the gym. You ain't got to buy the big tubs from GNC or Vitamin Shop or bodybuilding.com. You need protein. and you can read up on that also. I haven't figured out exactly what I'm going to do with that yet, but I will. I may or may not update y'all on that if people want to hear. I think that's pretty much it. That pretty much covers the lifestyle changes I've gone through right now as far as my diet. Like I said, off the vegetarian now onto the paleo diet. Meats, vegetables, fruits. That's it. I mean, it don't get no more cut and dry than that. That's easy to follow. Any of y'all want more information, I got the page on my website. There's a page called Diet and Nutrition. I believe I put it in the top navigation, but also just go through the Guides, Tips, and Helps page. Guides, Tips, and Help page. You'll see a link to Diet and Nutrition. I also have a playlist here on YouTube of every video I made discussing nutrition, so you can check that out. Also, any questions, comments, I'm sure there'll be plenty. Leave those down there in the comments. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button to like this video. Work on your game.
This is TT from New York. Nike, swoosh all day. Work on your game.